Welcome, everyone, to the Leadership Journeys Insights into the Indonesian Public Sector event. My name is Meredith Newmark, and I'm the Senior Program Director at Atlas Core. We are so excited to have you all with us, our Atlas Core scholars on Hopin, and everyone at home that is watching via YouTube. Welcome. For the last several months, a group of over 40 public sector leaders have been participating in Atlas Core's Virtual Leadership Institute, where they have had the chance to sharpen their professional skills, analyze current concerns in the public sector, and connect with numerous individuals from across the Indonesian public sector. Today, we have the unique opportunity of hearing from two leaders in the Indonesian public sector who will share their unique perspectives, insights, and experiences with all of our scholars and with you. It's my pleasure to introduce them to you all. The first of these speakers will be Mas Ahmed Firman. He is a public relations manager and social media strategist with more than 13 years of experience in private and government institutions in Indonesia. Currently, as a head of the Subdivision of Public Relations within the Ministry of State Secretariat of the Republic of Indonesia, the Presidential Palace, he is responsible for building and sustaining good relationships between the President, Vice President, Ministry of State Secretariat of the Republic of Indonesia, and its stakeholders. He works closely on implementation of publicity campaigns and PR activities using a wide range of media, especially digital media such as social media. Mas Firman, we are glad to have you with us.
Hi, Meredith.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Meredith and Adam, for having me tonight.
Fantastic. Well, our next guest is Ibu Alimatul Qibtiyah. She is a professor of gender studies and a commissioner serving on the National Commission of on Violence Against Women, a national human rights institution. She is actively involved as one of the leaders of the National Board of Muhammadiyah and Islamic organization in Indonesia. And I apologize in advance for any mispronunciations on my part. She has written numerous publications on the intersections of gender, Islam, and governance. Welcome, Ibu Alim.
Thank you very much for having us here.
Thank you for being here, Ibu Alim. Well, let's start out. Can each of you tell us a little bit about yourselves? How did you get started in the public sector, and what is your role now? Let's start with Mas Firman.
Okay, yeah, actually, after I finished my bachelor degree, I had a chance to work for a private company in sport equipment industry for 1 year as a public relation officer. And after having a good experience in private sector, I want to explore another sector, which is a public sector. I think this should be interesting in implementing both your skill and knowledge in different sectors. So I applied for public relation position at the Ministry of State Secretariat, and thanks God, I passed all the selection stages and start working for government as public relation analyst at that time in 2008. Yeah, now after 13 years as head of a subdivision, actually, this is my previous title before I study for my doctorate degree in 2017. I just finished my study at QUT, Queensland University of Technology in Australia on March this year, and realized that the title the title for Echelon 3 and 4 is no longer exists because the government changed the structural position to functional position. So my title now is like public relation practitioners. Yeah, so there is no like echelon 3 or 4 anymore in government institution. So my role also like planning and developing and implementing public relation campaign and strategies, and also designing a communication strategy for social media platform and other digital communication channel. I think that's all, Meredith.
Fantastic. Ibu Alim, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Meredith. Yeah. First, I believe that everyone, male or female, can be a good leader wherever they are, including in the public sector. And being a good leader and being someone who actively involved in the public sector is not given, it's not natural, but it's something that we can learn. So everybody has a chance to be a good leader in public sector. When I was little, I was raised by my uncle, and he taught me to be a brave person to speak publicly. So when I was in junior high school, uh, he usually put me in some mosque and then to talk directly to the audience. And then I love to be involved in organization. So when I was in college with the limited economy, I still actively involved in organization. And then since 1990s, I have focused on gender issues. So right now is more than 25 years focusing on gender issues. And to go down to the earth of my theories and my academic level, then I have been actively involved in Aisyah and Muhammadiyah organization in national level. In Aisyah and Muhammadiyah organization, in Aisyah, for example, I'm the leader of research and development, which is have duty to socialize the idea of gender equality and also the progressive view of Muhammadiyah and Aisyah. And in Muhammadiyah national organization, I'm one of the members in fatwa division, which is women female scholar is still a very limited number in that division because it's like fatwa. And in now I'm a chairperson in the subdivision of education in Komnas Perempuan, which have a duty to socialize the gender equality and also human rights, particularly for women's human rights, and how to make sure that the prevention and also handling the sexual violence in educational institution is happen in all level of institutional education.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for sharing your stories with us. That leads into kind of our next question. Ibu Alim, you mentioned you think anyone can be a good public sector leader. So I'd like to ask you, what qualities do you think are required to be a good public sector leader? And are they different from the necessary qualities for private sector leaders?
For me, it doesn't have any difference between the leader in public or in private sectors. To become a leader in the public sector, someone must have certain qualities. Example, I'm using the feminist leadership theories. For example, that everyone has a perspective of justice and good to fulfill the human rights in their life, and also have awareness and empathy for other people experiences, because everyone is unique, everyone has individual differences, so we have to empathy to other people, and also empowering all members. We can't just go ourselves, not only one person in the stage, but we can ask all members to work together and then become progress together. And also we have to take care of ourselves and others, so don't forget to be healthy and then take a rest. Yeah, although you are very busy people, but you have to have a rest. Your body has your rights. And also you can give critique to other people without using word that make someone feel looked down. So we have having critic, but with the empowerment. Yeah, with the empowerment. And also understand that each role is very important. So although they are leader and although member, but members and leader are the same important roles. So we cannot just make that the leader has more important than member. No, we can't do like that. And also collective collegial during for the leaders and togetherness during for the leader, and also does not tolerance any violence. no sexual violence, no physical, psychological, and economic violence. So no no tolerate for violence, and also we have to inclusive and does not discriminate others.
Yeah, completely agree about inclusion and empathy, self-care. Great points. Mas Firman, how about you?
Yeah, I think there are three specific characters to be a good public sector leader. The first one is collaborative. The leader should be able to work together among colleagues from other government institutions or agencies, private sectors, and NGOs with different backgrounds, right? So the second one is agile. The leader has ability to adapt to an ever-changing and uncertain environment. When you set out to be a continuous learner and have a growth mindset, you are always looking for ways to improve your product, your services, and yourself as a manager or a leader. Last but not least, I think being transparent and accountable. Okay, yeah, I think to sum up, generally the qualities required for public sector and private sector leader are quite similar. However, public sector leaders have a greater moral responsibilities toward the people. Why? Because it is the people's tax that pay our salary of the public sector leader, right? So therefore, for me, the aspect of transparency and accountability should be prioritized than other character. I think that's all.
Great points. Yeah, I completely agree. Transparency and accountability is important for our leaders. Well, touching on, I know inclusion was brought up as one of the qualities or principles necessary for leaders. In our Virtual Leadership Institute, our scholars learned about the importance of embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion as public sector leaders. How have you incorporated principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion into your work? And how can emerging public sector leaders incorporate more into their agencies?
So me?
Go for it.
Ladies first.
This was okay. Okay, as I said before, that according to the feminist leadership, that we have to pay attention on the diversity, equity, and also social inclusion. And this is very basic values that we have to implement in our leadership. Yeah, we can't denial, yeah, that everyone has a unique and has different social backgrounds that we have to consider and we have to pay attention. So for example, women in certain area has different need compared to male if we talking about reproductive tasks, for example. So we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention that women has a practical need that relate to reproductive tasks and relate to the existing gender roles in the society. For example, about the how we fulfill the breastfeeding place and also the sanitary napkin, or maybe we consider that the need of toilet, for example, is more for women than male because the reproductive task that female have is different from male, from men. So we have to consider the practical need of women based on the gender issues. And also we have to integrate the different culture and belief. For example, if we are a leader in one organization, we have to consider the place for pray for with different kind of religion. So not only because of, for example, in Indonesia, yeah, not only because we are majority Muslim, then only masjid, yeah, mosque we provide, but we have to ask the person who have different belief to maybe they need a place to pray as well. Yeah, so we have to fulfill this kind of different belief, and also relating to the disability. A disabled person sometimes has a different space, different moving place. Yeah, so we have to also fulfill the need they need for people with different ability. So we have to consider the diversity, equity, and social inclusion is part of our perspective in our leadership.
Great points. Mas Firman, anything to add?
Yeah, since we work in bureaucracy workplace, I have two ways to address the issues. The first one is assess institution policies. I have tried to assess area of the business in which discrimination to this issue can exist. For example, in planning the presidential event, we assess the need for interpreter services for the disabled,
Yep.
and or giving a same chance, giving a some sorry, or giving a same chance between men and women in managing a main presidential event, for example, like that. And the second one, make a strategical activities that are supported with or without funding. I mean, every year government institution and agencies draft their working program, right? And this is the time that I can interfere or I and implement the activities that promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, as far as it's relevant with our institution objectives. For example, a program like a training or webinar with the expert in this field, and social gathering start from the small unit, and maybe you can growing to like a bigger unit and echelon 2, echelon 1, and at the end you will have like a social gathering for one ministry. That's for example. So as the world keep changing, I hope all of you as the participant and as the future public sector leaders able to keep innovate and find the new methods to promote these issues, maybe by involving a technology or international agency to promote these issues. I think that's all from me.
Thanks for that. Yeah, definitely technology, and as Ibu brought up, the caring about the practical needs of everyone involved. It sounds like both those things are very important. Pardon me. Our scholars also has spent some time thinking about interagency collaboration and the value in a whole of government approach as it pertains to public sector work. How can leaders in the public sector ensure that governmental agencies and ministries are working together and not competing with each other? Mas Firman, let's start with you this time.
Okay, yeah. I think as a leader, first you should put yourself in their shoes, right? I mean, it's meant to make an effort to imagine how you would feel or act if you were in the same situation as a particular institution or ministries. They also have like targets to be achieved. They have obligation to public and so on. And secondly, you realize that we all have the same goal at the end, serving the public and nation. So you can promote these values to your internal institution. It's no, I mean, this is no longer like a competition between each ministry. It's time to hold each other, support each other, and moving forward together. And after that, is it better if we have like a formal draft, such as MOU, Memorandum of Understanding between agencies? So I think it will make like a clearer what your tasks and what theirs, and also so everyone know their standing position and not overlapping each other. And this is based on the legal paper. I think that's all from me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. I totally agree with the concept of the whole government approach. Collaborative, principle are more important than competitive, yeah, than the competition approach. So that they will strengthen each other. Yeah, they will strengthen each other, and then will be effective and efficient to achieve the goal from the nation. And in Indonesian government, I think, based on my observation, has started to collaborate between ministerial and institution, so they're not overlap. Although still, yeah, there are some issue that sometimes still overlap between the ministerial or institution. For example, in uh, Komnas Perempuan, ya. Currently, there is data on violence against women and children collected by the Symphony program. Symphony program, which is a combination data from the Ministerial of Women Empowerment and Child Protection, and also from Komnas Perempuan, and also from police, and also from other related parties. So by having collaboration in Symphony program, which is one data, a national data relating to violence against women and children, I think this is a good start, yeah, to have collaboration each other, so we can strengthen each other, not compete each other. Yeah, because working together is right now more crucial, yeah, than compete each other to achieve the goal, which is how we have Indonesian government with the strong and also with the powerful, and have best policies for the community.
So true. Well, I'm glad agencies are working together to combat violence against women, such an important issue. And Ibu Alim, I wanted to ask a little bit more about your work in that area. You've written extensively about women's leadership on your website, genderprogressive.com, and elsewhere. What do you think are the biggest challenges facing women public sector leaders in Indonesia? And what advice would you give to women trying to overcome these challenges, or to men trying to support their female colleagues?
Yeah, the biggest challenge for women leadership in Indonesia, in my opinion, is the strengthening of the strong of patriarchal culture and misogynic religious interpretation, which put women cannot be a leader of men. Yeah, so I think this is very common as well in Indonesia, in some areas, and also some group who have textual and conservative interpretation related to their belief, and they will not give women have a chance to be a leader. So as we know, although the Indonesian constitution is not based on certain religion, but Indonesian people believe on religion. Almost 96% Indonesian people believe on religion. It means that religious approach, with a progressive approach, which encourage women to be leader, is very important, yeah, to be socialized in society. Therefore, effort like campaign for the acceptance of women leader in society, or the in the society and in the professional world, by promoting an egalitarian culture and also progressive religious interpretation that support women's leader, is very important, yeah, in not only in the society but also in the professional, in institution, even in the family. Yeah, in Indonesia, it's very common that a male is the head of the family, then he has privilege to be a leader in the family. But right now, some group like the feminist uh, organization, including feminist Muslim, try to over, yeah, the alternative idea that women can also be a leader in the family, not always male to be a leader in the family. Even the Muslim feminists, for example, they also promote that women also be a leader in the prayer for adult male. Although this is something that's still very controversy, but they started. Yeah, they started to promote how in every level, in the public, in private, and also in ritual activities, women also have access to be a leader. To be leader for adult male. So I think this is very important if we look at women's issues relating to leadership in Indonesia.
Fantastic. So inspiring. Mas Firman, you work on expanding digital literacy in Indonesia. How has communication between the government and citizens changed in recent years? And how can public sector leaders share their message with the general public while misinformation is also being shared online?
Yeah, in the past, government depended on traditional media such as a printed newspaper and magazine, radio, and television in disseminating information to public. This method seems lack of engagement and interaction due to its nature as a one-way communication, right? Now, with almost 170 million Indonesian active social media users, based on the latest survey, I think government is trying to adopt the new method that embrace the engagement and interaction with public, that is communicating through social media platform. So I bet every single public sector leaders and government institution have social media accounts like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and the latest one is TikTok. Yeah, you name it, the platforms. For example, we can see Ridwan Kamil, governor of West Java province, and Ganjar Pranowo, governor of Central Java province, are avid social media users. They regularly update both formal and casual activities on their media, so public can see what they are doing as a personal and as a leader, as a government, as a governor. I mean, however, unfortunately, the social use, the use of social media also have disadvantages. One of them is become like a communication channel to distribute misinformation and hoax or fake news. Yeah, and fake news are becoming more and more challenging to manage, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, because the freedom of information in social media allows everyone and anyone to take part as a producer and consumer of information, or we known as prosumer. At the same time, not everyone fully digital literate. So how to address this issue? That is why currently I actively involved in digital literacy national movement, targeting as many as 12.4 million people in 500 districts or cities in 34 provinces in Indonesia, with more than 2,000 activities based on a curriculum targeting four pillars of digital literacy. The first one is digital ethics, second one is digital safety, third, digital skill, and the last one is digital culture. So this movement is aimed at building public awareness and knowledge regarding the use of new technology, as well as improving people digital skill in interacting in the digital space so that they can use the moment of the digital era properly and optimally. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks. Thanks for those insights. And related to, you just brought up the challenges that the COVID-19 pandemic has brought on the public sector. Delving deeper into that, the pandemic has forced so many organizations to change the way that they approach their work and interact with their stakeholders. In what ways do you see shifts in the public sector as a result of the pandemic, and how should leaders adapt to it? We'll start with Mas Firman.
Okay, yeah, actually, I'm seeing the bright side of the pandemic. The pandemic forces the public sector to improve its services through digital and adopt new methods involving technology. That's never happened before, right? So it can be seen now that now people can easily get a public service digitally with less effort, less time, and less of money. For example, you able register or renewal your driving license digitally. In the past, you should come to the police station in early morning to get the first line in the queue and filling some forms and taking picture in the noon. So you're wasting time there, right? Now it can be done digitally from home and the driving license will be delivered to you. Just simple like that. And yeah, the leader should support the innovation and always think creative outside the box if there is any box. So in adapting the uncertainty environment like today.
I love that, thinking about the ways that that the pandemic has forced us all to be a little bit more innovative and inclusive. Ibu Alim, what do you think?
Yeah, now our life is very different from before pandemic. Yeah, there is shifting why all of life. There is shifting why we work from offline to online with many digital platform. So we have to understand how the digital work, uh, and how we strengthening like the skill, also ethic, culture, as well as we have to know the safety, yeah, of the digital work, because as Mas Firman said that the technology is neutral. Yeah, if I make analog, technology is like a horse. Yeah, human being cannot compete with the horse. The horse will run fastly, and human being cannot compete with the horse. But because of the smart and also of the brain, human being can ride the horse and then try to give instruction to the horse, go ahead, turn right or turn left. Yeah, then we can, human being can ride the technology, can use technology for the advanced humanity. So I think depend on the human being, not depend on the technology. Yeah, uh, we have to smarter than technology. Yeah, but this something, as I said before, it's not something natural and given. We have to learn and learn and learn. Yeah, because this is something that we have to use to, like, for example, in the digital era, everyone can be a leader easily. Sometimes they don't have any quality to be a leader, but because of there are a lot of follower, they have more clickbait, then she or he can be influencer. But sometimes they are not from Islamic studies, they are not from accountant, but suddenly, yeah, suddenly it seems like they are the hero. But then if we don't if we are not have a high awareness of the safety, then sometimes they use our weakness to be exploited, yeah, to be manipulated, yeah, and then they get advantage from us. So we have to understand the digital work, and also relating to the pandemic issue, based on the research that conducted by Komnas Perempuan relating to gender issue, that women right now still have a double, not only double, multiple burden compared to male in Indonesian context. Even women almost 4 times, yeah, 4 times working as responsible for domestic tasks and also domestic tasks and reproductive tasks, almost 4 times, because like right now there are learning from home, yeah, and then the society still believe that education should be mother. Then many mothers spend more time to be a teacher, sometimes all subject, yeah, all subject teacher for their kids compared to their dad. Even if they have limited gadget, yeah, a limited gadget, then the kid borrow mom's gadget, not the father's gadget, because they still believe that mom has responsible for the education. So this is not fair. Yeah, this is not fair. We have to educate the society to have equal, yeah, equal responsibility, uh, equal responsibility for taking care of the children, and also to be a teachers during the pandemic at home, because it's not good if women will tired, then yeah, the family will not be happy if the woman are tired. Okay.
So true. So true. Yeah, definitely working from home has impacted some people differently from others, and that's a great point. Well, I want to do one more question before we then take some audience questions. As we think about the future, what are the biggest challenges and opportunities for the Indonesian public sector in the months and years ahead? And Ibu Alim, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think following up the previous discussion, yeah, in terms of the digital era, that offline interaction will decrease because many people will spend more time in digital life. So the leader have to be aware about this kind of situation, and because if there are limited communication offline, then sometimes we cannot observe, yeah, the total communication results, because it's only sometime, yeah, for example, we have a meeting and then only only audio, not video, but sometimes we don't know what happened because off camera. So sometimes they will not really 100% pay attention on that meeting. So we have to be careful, and we have to be good manager, and maybe also good what is it, good style to say hello, to pay attention, yeah, to our colleague, because the limited communication for offline, because I think usually if we spend more offline, the attention for the dignity, human dignity, is easy, but for online, to pay attention for human dignity sometimes will lack, yeah, lack of the attention. In addition, time management and using digital is with creatively is very very important for the leader. So not only just giving to the staff, okay, please do it, please this one, but at least there is standard minimal for the leader know about the digital life and also digital skill, yeah. So it's not only rely on the staff, rely on the other colleague to do more effective to be a leader in the future.
Thank you.
And one thing, we have to be ready for critic, yeah, because it's open, yeah, it's open, so we have to have resilience, yeah, we have to have uh, with a very strong resilient in the digital area, because sometimes like this is then become any word, any minute, people will critic us, yeah. So we have to be ready with the digital era with our leadership for critic and also respond from others.
Yes, so true, so true. Mas Firman, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Ibu Alim 100%. I believe that the digital transformation is the biggest challenges and also opportunities at the same time. Public become advanced and savvy in using digital technology in their daily life. including assessing public services, right? So which is good things. But as a government officials, we also should aware the potential of the implication of the digital use in an appropriate manners, like a distribution of hoax or misinformation or hijacking or cracking the government digital platforms that can interrupt the public services. So yeah, we should aware about the potential interruption like that. Yeah, I think that's all.
Great points. Well, thank you for sharing those insights with us. I'm going to transition now to questions from our audience, which includes some of our Atlas Core Virtual Leadership Institute scholars and some folks watching online. Our first question is, Desi asks, Mr. Firman, from your viewpoint as a PR practitioner, what are the challenges in the COVID-19 situation from a public communication perspective, and how may we improve it?
Yeah, today's Indonesia face a lot of hoax in social media. I mean, the hoax targeting the government institution, just like this is a conspiracy by governments or government takes advantages from this COVID or this pandemic, something like that. Actually, that's all fake news, right? So the challenge is how to combat that hoax and also at the same time educate Indonesian to be like digital literate. So that's why I hope everyone can join the program, Digital Literacy National Program from Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, which is still running until 2024. And we hope that at the end of the program, Indonesia will have like a good standard of people in digital literacy. Not like today, we still, I mean, like a lower level comparing with another countries. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely agree, and that's an issue across borders for sure. For our second question, Ria asks, Professor Alimatul, I work at the local level, and sadly we are facing an environment that is not inclusive for women. This often comes from the highest level of authority at the local level, and as you know, it is those at the local level who often have the most direct contact with the community. What advice can you give for those of us working at the local level?
Okay, I think that's very good question from Mbak Ria ya, relating to the local level scholar or local level leader. Okay, we can use 3 stage. First, we have to master as well relating to the textual resource or constitutional resource. So the first layer, yeah. For example, if we're talking about women leader, yeah, women leader, usually based on the constitutional law, it doesn't matter because the Indonesian constitution protect or encourage women to be a leader. But then there is also the textual resource from the Holy Book, yeah, from the Holy Book. But then we try to make a alternative interpretation that this is not refers to male, but this is also refers to male and female. For example, in the Quran, yeah, usually we refers rijal and zakar in the Arabic word, yeah, but in the translation they have the same meaning, which is male. But then we ask to the God, why God use different word if they have different meaning? So then it must be have different meaning between Rijal and Zakar. So then, according to Professor Nazaruddin Umar in his dissertation, that Rijal goes to gender and Zakar goes to sex. And the leadership text verses in the Quran using Rijal, not using Zakar. It's mean that male and female can be a leader, yeah, in the society and in the society, private, and also in ritual. So the first of all, we using the constitutional or religious texts that we have a different interpretation. And the second one, we try to give information about the data, about the knowledge, experience. For example, this is women. She is women and she is able to be a leader. For example, in the East Java, we have Ibu Risma, for example. We also have a leader, female leader who are succeed, for example, in certain area, and they are not corruption. They have also have a good family. So by giving the data in reality, then we try to emphasize our argument that women leader can also have give benefit to the society. And the last one is using our heart. Yeah, our heart that women is also human being. She also has right to be a leader, has right to maximize her potential. Yeah, her personal potential to be leader. So by using we call it in Tarjih ya, Bayani, Burhani, and Irfani. Bayani is the constitutional or text, religious text, and the second one relating to the knowledge and experience, and the last one is relating to our heart. So try to talk with this kind of step with the local authority. Yeah, so something that we have to pay attention. Don't be a teacher of them, because they will feel not good. Yeah, who are you? Why you become teacher of me? So just be nice and then not like you know what I mean, yeah. It's not like a very high teacher. Sometimes local authority or local scholar, local leader, they are like king or queen in this area. So we have to be careful if we giving some different idea, yeah, from them. So don't be like teach them, but be a friend for discussion. So I think this is some tips, yeah, how to talk with the local leader relating to some women's issue, because it's very quite very very embedded, yeah, very embedded in the religious perspective.
Yeah, definitely having to use those diplomatic skills to get
That's
done
right.
what needs to get done. Well, this next question is for both of you. Maman asks, most of us here are youth. How should the engagement of young people in the public sector look like? How should they be given opportunities and space as leaders?
Yeah, I think it's also challenging. Yeah, sorry, can I go first?
Go for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I think right now it's quite challenging. Yeah, in the millennial era, which is more millennials or youth, they think that work minimally but earn maximally. Yeah. So then, sometimes public sector needs someone who are really have heart, because it's service. Yeah, because it is something service to others and need a patient and intensive work. Yeah. So this is not easy to ask a youth to be a leader in the public sector. So that's why maybe it's not only economic approach, but also humanity approach. Yeah, and also good life approach. Yeah, we can talk with them, because if from economic approach, sometimes it doesn't work with them. Yeah, because they will compare. No, I don't want to work a lot, but I want to earn much. Yeah. Usually they want to work from 9 to 3, but they got a lot, but for like us, like the people, baby boomer like us, is like work from the 6 to 6, but not much money. Yeah, but sometimes they have different idea. So just become YouTuber, become vlogger, and then earn a lot of money. So then something that very important to us to discuss with them is relating to humanity, services. Yeah, maybe we can also use religious perspective that our life is not, the real life is not now, yeah, but also in hereafter. Or maybe if we don't believe in religion, the more work that we can do, the more advantage with people get is will make us happy. Yeah, how to have a good what is a good contribution with long life contribution by doing something good. I think this is some also that we can emphasize to them, if they, for example, if they don't believe in religion. Yeah, so by how we can useful for others. I think this is something tricky and very important to us youth to be a leader in public sector.
Great points. Mas Firman, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think. Sorry. Yeah, I think like me and Ibu Alim, we start from bottom level as a youngster in public sector, and we try to show the innovation maybe through a recommendation to our supervisor at that time and convince them based on the data that we have. And also, and after you gain the trust from your supervisor, you're able to run a program as a pilot project, and the evaluation from the program will determine your next program, right? I mean, your supervisor will evaluate, is it work? I mean, does the innovation work, or is it your idea? I mean, you can fulfill your idea and something like that. So yeah, first thing is you give them recommendation based on data, and it should be creative and also in innovative ways. Yeah, think that's all, Meredith.
Great. Well, this may be our last audience question. Bella asks, what advice would you give to someone that is currently working in the private sector but would like to transition to a career in the public sector? Any advice for someone like that?
That's my experience. Yeah, I think. Is it okay if I go first, Bu Alim? Yeah,
Yeah, please,
yeah,
please.
yeah. My advice: if you want to change a society in big scale, we're talking about national level, join us in government sector. Why? Because you will have the position and able to do that kind of changes. For example, as an analyst at the beginning level, you can make a recommendation, like I said before, and making program that improve society. And after that, after certain years, you can get the higher level. On the next level, you can make a policy, the policy that can improve bigger society, comparing with in your analyst level, something like that. So my advice, if you want to change society in big scale, join us.
All right. Great. Ibu Alim, anything you'd like to share as well?
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree. Yeah, in the public sector, I think there are more what is it, humanity values, yeah, compared with the private sector, and you will feel satisfied when your policy impact to other people. You will be very happy, yeah, when what is something you have done make someone life better. Because for public sector, we work with many people, we work with society, we work with not only with robot, yeah, but we work with many other people. So I think by trying or changing, yeah, from the private sector to the public sector is something good idea as well. Although it's although something is sometimes it's different, yeah, based on the individual characteristic. Yeah, there are some people who are appropriate with public sector. There are some people who are not enjoy with the public sector, but based on my observation, working in public sector is make many people happy than in the private sector. Yeah, so you will be happy as well if make someone happy.
Yeah, and you will get a scholarship like us, ya, Bu Alim. Yeah, to continue our study, like Bu Alim and me got a doctorate degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So yeah,
always something that always in question, yeah, in the interview question for getting scholarship, yeah. What have
mm,
you done with your community? Do you have any experience relating to the public sector? So something that always be questioned in the scholarship interview.
Yeah. It sounds like it will be important for this person, Bella, to be able to express and articulate her motivation for making that transition and why it's important to her to serve the public. Well, great insights. Before we wrap up, I want to ask one more final question for each of our speakers briefly. What is one thing about leadership in the public sector that you wish you would have known when you first started out? I'd love to hear some advice that you could share with our audience. Either one of you can start.
Silakan, Mas Firman dulu, please.
yeah, okay. Um, I think great things never come from comfort zone. So if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So yeah, I should know this phrase at the beginning. So it's better you always learn a new thing, keep innovating, and pursue your dreams. So see you at the top.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Ibu Alim?
Yeah, I think that's the successful person is maybe come back with my argument. Yeah, it's not something natural or it's not something given. Yeah, we have to struggle for it. We have to fight to get it. And everybody can be a good leader, can be a good person, and also succeed in their life. So if you can change yourself, then you will change the world. Yeah, I change myself, I change the world. But if you don't change yourself, then you can't change the world. So I think this is something that good motivation for us to be a good leader, and then how to be useful for others. Yeah, and also how to have a good contribution in the society. So to make longer life for the world, so I think we need more people who have a good leader, who have experience and implement the idea of what we have just talked about, like gender inclusion, social inclusion, equity, and also how to pay attention of human right, how not to go only with yourself, but you have to be succeed with your colleagues, yeah, and how to make the safe and also convenient, yeah, place to work together. I think something that there are many universal values of humanity that we can do it to make the life better and other people better, and also the world better. So if you change your life, yeah, and then you can change the world.
Ibu Alim, I love it. It's like you've been sharing the Atlas Core motto, which is change the world. So you're perfectly in line with those Atlas Core values. I love it. Well, thank you so much to our guests. I wish we had even more time to talk, but thank you so much for joining us today, Mas Firman and Ibu Alim, and sharing those insights and perspectives about your careers and about the Indonesian public sector. It's been so great to have you, and thank you to all of our scholars and others in the audience who joined to watch. Thanks so much for joining this Atlas Core Leadership Journeys conversation. And we hope to see you again at our next event. So stay tuned and follow us on social media to keep up to date on us. Well, thanks so much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your days.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys.